Welcome to the Be Internet Legends Year 6 Assembly. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Joe.
And today we're going to be celebrating the end of a journey and looking forward to our next adventure. Now for you Year 6s, it's a pretty momentous time as you start thinking about taking that leap over to secondary school. And do you know what, Joe? It's a pretty momentous time for your parents too. Now loads of your parents and carers are watching this assembly from home at YouTube. Now if they are, make sure you say a big hello to them.
Before we go any further though, Chelsea, we've got someone else to introduce to you. So let's go over to our roving reporter, Jez. Jez, can you introduce us to your special guest?
I certainly can. Now everyone, I'd like to introduce you to someone very important, Damian Green. Now Damian is an MP for Ashford. He's also a member of the Digital Culture, Media and Sports Select Committee. Now he's with us here today to see all the amazing work that you've been doing to become internet legends and also to give us some advice on staying safe online. Can we please all give him a nice big warm welcome?
Hello everybody, it's great to be here. Thanks very much to Google and Parent Zone for inviting me along to this very important assembly.
Damian, we're delighted to have you with us today so you can help the pupils prepare for secondary school and think about the importance of online safety within a new school. We were wondering, can you help us by telling us why you think it's so important that these guys should continue on their Be Internet Legends journey?
It's important because we all know that the internet and everything it provides, social media, music, movies, anything you want to do, basically, you can do online, you can do on your phone, you can do at home. If it's appropriate, you can do it in school. And it's great. You can learn new things, you can find out about the rest of the world, you can play games, you can do pretty much everything you want to do. And all of that is great. And what we all want is for every one of you to be able to do that, knowing that you're safe doing it, because we want you to behave properly. You need to be kind to people. You need to make sure you're not bullying anyone ever. But at the same time, we want to keep you safe, because I'm afraid out there, particularly when you go into the world of your new school, it'll be bigger probably than the school you're in now. You'll meet a lot of new friends, you'll meet a lot of new people, and one or two people out there are not as nice as you are, and may want to do you some harm, may want you to look at things that will frighten you or disturb you, or may want to bully you. And so part of the job of being an internet legend is to know that you're not going to behave badly, and also to have the bravery to speak up. And if you think that's not right, they shouldn't be doing that, to find a responsible adult and report them so that you can't be hurt and no one else can be hurt either. That's what being an internet legend is about, and that's what this assembly is all about as well.
Oh, brilliant, Damian. That's some really helpful advice. Thank you very much. Let's give a big thank you to Damian. Now, if you have any questions for Damian about the important work that he's been doing, please pass that on to your teachers and we will pass it on to him.
Thanks very much for that. And well done for all the online learning you've done now. It will carry on in your secondary school, and enjoy everything you're going to hear about this morning, and more to the point, enjoy your new school in the autumn.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Damian. Now let's hand back to Joe and Chelsea.
Thank you, Damian, and thank you, Jez. Now, we've been hearing that your Year 6s are pretty legendary. So, yes or no, shout out nice and loud whether you think you are legendary after 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, we had a few yeses there, but I think we had a few no's as well. But normally, when we talk about being internet legends, we explain how you can become legendary too. But you already seem pretty legendary to us. That means you've probably met this guy. Hi, legend.
Yeah, and you've probably completed all the levels on Interland the game.
Oh, even though you may have had quite a few Interland fails like me. Oh, that Kind Kingdom level is really difficult.
Oh, Kind Kingdom's my favourite.
Really? I find it super hard. You even met Colin the cat as well.
Yeah, and you've probably been doing lots of Be Internet Legends classwork with your teacher.
And that must mean that you have Internet Legend status now, right? Well, let's put that to the test. See if you really know your stuff.
Okay, so we've got a quick quiz for you to play along with in class. Now, we are joined by schools across the country and we want to hear from all of you. So let's go over to Rhiannon to find out how to play.
Hello, I'm Rhiannon. Now, if your teacher set up devices in your classroom, you can just tap the answers on the screen. But if you don't have a device, that's not a problem at all. You can play along in your classroom and share your answers to your teachers, and they can pop your answers on the YouTube chat. We cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Now, for a load of internet legends like you guys, this should be super easy. So let's start with the very first one. Here it is.
Okay, question 1. What is fishing?
Is it A, a slightly boring way to catch fish? Is it B, something people do to trick you into sharing personal information online? Is it C, a new viral dance trend? Or is it D, Paul Pogba's new goal celebration? So again, is that A, a slightly boring way to catch fish? B, something people do to trick you into sharing personal information online? Is it C, a new viral dance trend? Or is it D, Paul Pogba's new goal celebration? Vote now. I absolutely love a virtual dance trend, Chelsea.
Oh dear, go on, show us one.
Well, right now?
Yeah, go on.
No way.
Oh, Joe,
no,
show us a dance.
No way,
Go
there's
on.
no way. I'll do it later. We'll have a little dance competition after the show. Let's check in with Rhiannon now, see how you guys voted.
Thanks, Joe. Now, there's some pretty fishy options there, if I'm honest, but the correct answer there is B. Phishing is something that people do when they're trying to trick you into sharing your personal information online. Now, let's take a look at your answers. So, 91% of you got that right. Well done, team. A few of you went for the other answers. You can see we've got football on the brain. A few of you said Paul Pogba's new goal celebration. But what have you said on the chat as well? We've got lots of B's going round for Miss Holloway's, Miss Forbes, Mr Wilcox, Miss McGinnity's class, Miss Carter's. A shout out to St Augustine's in Solihull for getting that right as well. Westover Primary got that right. Miss Collins' class, St Paul's as well have got that right. Miss Norris's. And we've got a good morning from Crowcroft Park in Longsight in Manchester. And some more B's coming through. Well done, everyone. So it seems like a lot of you are alert when people are trying to trick or scam you online. Well done. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
Well done, everyone who got that right. Looks like you got the hang of this. So let's have another question now. Same as before, vote on your devices or with your teachers on the YouTube chat. Here it is.
Okay, question number 2. What's the best trick for making your online passwords more secure?
Is it A, use lots of upper and lowercase letters? Is it B, swap some letters for numbers? Is it C, use random words nobody would guess? Or is it D, don't tell anyone your password? So again, that's A, use lots of upper and lowercase letters. Is it B, swap some letters for numbers? Is it C, use random words nobody would guess? Or is it D, don't tell anyone your passwords? Vote right now.
Do you know what, Joe? I cannot believe that some people still use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as their password.
I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's like putting your finger right across the keyboard like that. Not a very secure password. Let's check in with Rhiannon now. Rhiannon, how did they vote?
Okay, so this is an interesting one because when I first saw the answers, I thought straight away it was uppercase and lowercase letters. But then I know you should also put some numbers in there as well, and you definitely shouldn't tell anybody. So let's take a look and see what you guys have said. Well, 17% of you have said uppercase and lowercase, 26% of you have said swap some letters for numbers, 13% have said use random words nobody would guess, and a whopping 41% of you have said don't tell anyone your passwords. Now, let's see what you guys have said on the chat. Now, it's all of them, says Mr. Wilcox's class. I think you might be onto something there. Mrs. McGinnity said all. We think all of them as well from 6D in Miss Holloway's class. Hawthorne class went for B. We've got all of them, says Griffin class with Miss Carter. St. Paul's say all of them as well. The Kippenham School say all of them. I think you guys might be onto the fact that Joe and Chelsea have put in a trick question there. Yes, so all of those answers are correct and are legendary tips to use when you're trying to make a really strong password. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
Oh, we tricked you!
Mr. Wilcox's class got in there straight away saying that we tricked you, but we promise no more trick questions now. Let's go for 3 out of 3. It's the hat trick. Here's the question.
Okay, question number 3. If something is worrying you online, what's the best thing to do?
So, is it A, keep it to yourself and hope it goes away? Is it B, ignore it and do something else? Is it C, talk to a trusted adult about what's worrying you? Or is it D, tell your friends in case they can help? So that's A, keep it to yourself and hope it goes away. Is it B, ignore it and do something else? Is it C, talk to a trusted adult about what's worrying you? Or is it D, tell your friends in case they can help? Vote right now.
Oh, do you know what, Joe? I love going on the internet. I watch videos on YouTube, I read blogs, play games, look for recipes, but sometimes I do see things online that are a little bit worrying.
Oh yeah, me too. Let's check in with Rhiannon now. Rhiannon, what did they vote?
Well, this one isn't that easy actually, because often the right thing to do can sometimes be the hardest option. But the correct answer here was C, to talk to a trusted adult who can help. Now, let's see what you guys have said. So a whopping 96% of you got that one right. Well done. Now, a few of you have said ignore it and do something else, and to keep it to yourself and hope it goes away. Now, that might be the easiest option, but not always the right thing to do. Now, let's see what you've said on the chat. Well, loads of you have said C as well, from Brooklands, Clippenham, Appleton Thorne Primary, Goatleys Primary School, Hanslope, Oak Class at Probus School in Cornwall, Gaywood Primary, Markland Hill as well. Well done, guys. Now, a few of you might also think, oh, well, I'll talk to a friend as well. But you might not always get the right solution with that one. So you should always remember to talk to a trusted adult first. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Well, we've got some proper legendary techers here. What do you think, Chelsea?
Oh yeah, definitely, which means your teacher's been helping you learn loads about what it takes to become an internet legend. And these legendary skills will help you stay safer and more secure in whatever you love doing online.
Which is great, but you're probably wondering right now, what is next?
Oh, Joe, that is a big question. Now, at the moment, you're probably spending a lot of time thinking about what's coming next. And it might even be something that you're talking about in class. Now, maybe you and your friends are thinking about leaving primary school and everything what's going to be happening in secondary school. And of course, you might be thinking about saying goodbye to some of your friends who are going to a different school and all the new ones you're going to be making next year.
Let's be honest, Chelsea, it's a massive moment, but it's also quite an exciting one too. You may be feeling loads of different emotions about it. You may be feeling a bit like this.
Oh yeah, Joe, but you might be feeling a little bit more like this.
Oh, it's a massive moment for your teachers as well, who are probably feeling quite sad about you Year 6s leaving primary school.
Yeah, is that right, teachers? Well, maybe most of the Year 6s anyway. But even if things are changing, this is not the end of your legendary journey. Now you've learnt loads of these skills, it's time to use them in Year 7 to make sure that is legendary too. Now there are loads of different emotions going around when you leave primary school and move on to secondary school. So that leads us on nicely to our next question. How are you feeling about going to secondary school?
Are you feeling A, happy, B, excited, C, sad, or D, something else? So A, happy, B, excited, C, sad, or D, something else? Vote now. How are you feeling, Chelsea, about going to secondary school?
Well, I was a little bit sad because I was leaving my lovely school and teachers and some friends behind, but do you know what? I was actually excited to go on a new adventure, explore this big school, yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I was feeling maybe happy and excited, but also a little bit nervous at the same time. So I think I would put D, something else, but it's not about what we're saying, it's about what you guys are saying. Let's go over to our Rhiannon now.
Now, this is a really hard question to answer because you may be feeling lots of those emotions. You might be feeling happy, but also sad to say bye to your school. You could be feeling really excited, but also nervous at the same time. Or you might just be feeling something else. Now, in a big moment of change, you could be feeling a lot of different emotions all at different times, or you could be feeling all of those emotions at once. So let's see what you've said. So 49% of you are excited, which is super lovely to see. 39% of you are something else. I wonder what that could be. 8% of you said sad, and 5% of you are happy. And what have you guys said on the chat as well? Let's have a look. So we feel something else by Mr. Wilcox's class. Miss Norris says, I'm really sad to be saying goodbye to lots of lovely children. Westover Turtles are saying excited and sad at the same time. Gaywood Primary are feeling all of them at once. We've got lots of happies as well, lots of excited on the class as well. Great chart, 6 Toke class say they're feeling all of them at once. The majority in 6B at Brooklands as well. A lot of you are nervous as well. We've got a mix of emotions at Griffins, and Markland Hill are feeling a bit of everything. Now, it seems like you guys' emotions are all over the place, but that's lovely to see. And you know what? You've got so much time to work out how you're feeling between now and your first day of Year 7. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
Oh, Miss Norris is going to miss all of her pupils. I think all the teachers are going to miss their Year 6 pupils. Do you know what, Chelsea? I think that finishing primary school is a bit like completing a game. What? You've done all your levels and you know the way around, but maybe you're a little bit bored now. But starting secondary school is like starting a brand new game where you've got new levels to complete, but you don't know all the rules and what to watch out for. So using your Be Internet Legends learning is good to help you get to know this new game and your way around and to stay safer.
Oh, Joe, I love what you did there. So let's all remind ourselves what our legendary skills are. So first we've got be sharp and think before you share. Be alert and check it's for real. Be secure and protect your stuff. Be kind and respect each other, and be brave. When in doubt, discuss.
But even if you've mastered all of these skills, you still need to figure out how to use them where you're going next. So we've got another question for you now. Same as before, vote on your devices and with your teachers. Here it is.
Okay, have you heard any stories or rumours about secondary school?
So simple one, this one. Is it A, yes, or B, no? So A, yes, or B, no. Vote right now. Chelsea, you got any stories about secondary school?
Yeah, so when I was in Year 6, my big sister was already at secondary school, and she told me every day for dinner it was peas and cabbage and other disgusting vegetables what I didn't even like. And she told me that all the older kids got to push in front of the dinner queue before you. But do you know what, Joe? It wasn't even true. She was telling porcupines.
Flies. I got a similar story to that. One of my friends in primary school told me in secondary school, all the older pupils made you carry around their books all day, which wasn't true at all. Again, nothing to worry about. Let's check in with Rhiannon now to see what you guys voted.
Sometimes hearing about what happens at secondary school can be a good and a bad thing. You might hear that it's really fun and everyone loves it, or you could hear that it's totally savage and you get given 5 hours of homework a night. Let's see what you guys have said. So we've got 85% of you have said yes to hearing rumours about your school. I wonder what they could be. Now, I saw someone pop up saying they'd flush heads down the toilets. Well, that never happened to me. We've got a mixture of yes and no. Probus School said yes, you heard to get lots of homework. On the bright side, the food is a lot better, we've heard, at one of your secondary schools. Some scary rumours from 6 Griffin class. Sycamore class have heard some stories as well. We've got, yes, the food is delicious, nice teachers and lots of homework. Well, if the food is delicious and you get nice teachers, then maybe the homework isn't so bad. We've got lots of yeses and nos on the chat, which is amazing. But you've got to remember, the truth is that you can't always believe everything that you hear. And you've just got to make up your mind about those rumours on your first day of Year 7. And I'm sure you guys will be absolutely fine. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
Oh, great tip there, Rhiannon. Now, it is always important to find out the truth for yourself. And that's why you need your legendary alert skills to check if what you're seeing and hearing is for real. Now, this might be knowing what happens at secondary school, but it's really important that when you get there, you question what you see and hear and what you should and shouldn't be doing.
We've got an example of what we're saying here. So if people in your new Year 7 class are going on a new online game or app, you probably want to too, right?
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fine, but you must stay alert and make sure what you are doing is safe. If it's a new online space that you've never seen before, you need to make sure you don't give away any personal information. It's the same if someone sends you a strange link or attachment that doesn't look quite right. If you're unsure, remember you can always check in with your trusted adult, like a parent or a teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you go onto these new online spaces, you need to remember all the legendary things that you've learned.
You should always make sure you know where to report things if they seem wrong or how to block people if they bother you.
Yeah, now being alert is all about making decisions for yourself. Now, even if other people, and this might be the older kids at school, are doing something online, it doesn't mean that you should too. Now, it might be an app or a platform that's too old for you. Now, if you have to lie about your age to join an app, it's best to wait until you're older.
Yeah, this may sound boring, Chelsea, but the reason apps and sites have age ratings is to keep you safer when you go online. But Year 7 is going to be about all new experiences and meeting new people, and this may mean that you start getting invited to new friend requests and messaging groups.
Oh yeah, and it'll be important to be super sharp when all this is happening. Now, this means thinking carefully before you share and who you share with.
Imagine this situation, Chelsea. You're in Year 7 and one of your friends has just invited you to a brand new messaging group, but you're not quite sure on who is in that group. Say, for example, you send a picture of you falling over in the football team.
Oh, Joe, I always fall over when I play sports.
Really? Savage. But say, for example, you send it in. You don't know who is going to see that photo. You also don't know who they might share it with either.
Yeah, remember, things spread online quickly. So you need to be sharp and be super careful about what pictures and personal information you share. Because once it's out there and it can be really hard to get back. And this goes both ways too. If somebody shares something with you, it doesn't mean that you should go and share it with everybody unless you've checked and you know that they're cool with it. And you need to remember that people might be different to you as well. Now, if you don't know everybody you're sharing with, you might say something that could upset somebody. And not because you're trying to upset somebody, but because people might think differently to you. Now, misunderstandings can happen really easily with people you don't know. So remember, always think before you share, even if you're joking.
When you're around new people, some who are older than you, you might see things like pictures or videos that make you feel a bit uncomfortable. Someone might even share something with you that you know is risky or wrong. This is a super important time to stay sharp and stay away from things that could upset you or hurt someone else. And again, if you're not so sure, always check in with that trusted adult, like a parent or a teacher, then get into trouble. So we've got another question for you now. You know the drill for voting. Here's the question.
Okay, how will you be travelling to secondary school?
Are you going A, on your own, B, with a parent, C, with friends, or D, not sure? So again, that's A, on your own, B, with a parent, C, with friends, or D, not sure. Vote right now. Chelsea, how did you get to secondary school?
Oh, well, sometimes my mum would drop me off, and then other times I'd go with my friends, and you know what? Sometimes I wasn't quite sure how I was getting there, but I always got there ready, on time, ready to go.
Oh, well done. I always used to get to school on a minibus. Lots of different people on that minibus from different forms and different years, but I quickly made friends. There was absolutely no need to worry. Let's check in with Rhiannon now. Rhiannon, how did they vote?
Starting secondary school can mean a lot of the stuff you do is different. You're going to a new place, on a new route, and you might be doing this on your own. Now, when you're without a parent or an adult, you need to make sure that you're secure and looking after yourself. Now, you know all the basic rules. Look both ways before you cross the road and don't talk to strangers. But this time you might even be using your phone for the first time. So let's see what you lot have said. So 59% of you are going with friends, 18% are on your own, 15% are not so sure, and 8% are with a parent as well. And let's see what you've said on the chat now. Probus School have said with friends. Most of Westover are saying with friends and are walking to school. Miss Hearn's class aren't so sure just yet. We've got a mixture of all of them from Miss Holloway's class. Kenton Bar Primary have a mix as well. Miss Woodhouse's class at Dawley Academy say they are mostly going with friends. St Augustine's and Solihull are with friends as well. And we've got a mixture from a lot of you too. So, oh, and Harrison is cycling. Lovely. We love to see you cycling. Amazing. So there are many other ways that you will be secure in secondary school as well. And I believe Chelsea and Joe have some top tips for us. What are they, please?
Oh, we certainly do, Rhiannon. We have got 5 top tips for staying secure in secondary school, and maybe your teacher might have some more to share with you. Okay, tip number 1. If you've got your own phone, make sure you use a screen lock and PIN code.
If you've got your own phone for the first time, or maybe you've had one for a while, you still need to make sure that that phone is secure so that nobody can mess with it. Ask a grown-up if you're not sure how.
Okay, tip number 2. Use strong passwords on all of your personal accounts.
When you're meeting new people, you may end up joining new online platforms and sites. So remember to use those super strong passwords that we spoke about before to make sure nobody can hack you.
Okay, tip number 3. Never tell anybody your passwords or write them down where somebody else could find them.
Yeah, this one might sound obvious, but if you're using new online platforms and spaces, it can be tempting to share those passwords and logins that you shouldn't. No matter how friendly those people might seem, your passwords are yours. Nobody should see them, except maybe a parent or a guardian.
Yeah, okay. Tip number 4. Don't save passwords in shared school computers.
If a shared school device asks you to save a password, always remember to say no. If you save a password, someone else could access your account if they go on there after you, and then you have no idea what they might do.
Okay, tip number 5. Remember that if you are using a shared school device, always log out of any accounts that you use.
Again, you might be accessing a personal account on a shared school device. Always double check that you have logged out when you're done so that nobody on that device after you can get into your account.
Okay, so year 6s, if you use those 5 rules, you'll have some super secure and strong safety settings set up on all your devices.
Another chance to vote with your classes and with your groups. Now you know what to do. Here's the question.
Okay, question is this. Do you have any friends going to the same secondary school?
So is it A, yes, or B, no? Vote right now. A, yes, maybe you're travelling with them, like me, on that minibus. Or maybe B, no, which can be slightly scary at first, but don't worry, you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, so when I was leaving primary school, some of my friends went to a different secondary school, but the ones who went to the same secondary school as me, get this, Joe, they were all put in the same form, and I was put in a form all on my own. But you know what? It didn't matter because I still got to see all my old friends at break, and I made loads of new ones.
Absolutely, see, nothing to worry about. Let's check in with Rhiannon now to see how you guys voted.
It's great if you're going to know someone at your school. You might have someone older in your family who goes there, or maybe an older friend, or a big sister or a big brother of a friend. But you also might not know someone. Now, this could be you or this could be someone else. Let's see what you've said. So 88% of you say you do know someone at your secondary school and 12% of you don't. Now, let's see what you're saying in the chat. So Class D at Dawley Academy say most of us are going with friends. A few are going to secondary school without friends. We've got mainly a yes from 6E in Brooklands Primary. Isabella in 6 Griffin has no one to go with in her new school. That's okay, Isabella. You'll surely make new friends right away, and you won't be the only one, so please do not worry. Crowcroft Park, a real mixture. 31 children are going to 8 different schools. Wow! Sycamore class at Markland Hill are mostly with friends. 5 children in 6B are not going with anyone at the rest, and the rest are going with friends. We are going to lots of different schools in Mr. Elliott's class. Most are going to the same school, but a few are going to somewhere else in Mr. Wilcox's class. And Markland Hill are looking forward to making new friends as well. That's lovely to see. And in Mr. Perrick's class, we have some who are going to a school by themselves. Very brave, he says, in Probus School. Yes, indeed. So when you're starting year 7, you should always be kind and look out for those who don't seem like they have anyone to talk to. Now, back to you, Joe and Chelsea.
That's a really good point, Rhiannon. Thank you so much. It sounds like everyone's being super brave right now. But remember, you're all in this together. Being kind is important for everyone starting secondary school. Some people will find year 7 easier than others. So you need to keep those legendary kind skills to help anyone who might look like they're having a hard time.
Yeah, and this might be somebody who's being left out or somebody that other people are being mean to in class or online.
If you see someone having a hard time, imagine that you were in their place. Let them know that they have a friend who can help them. A true legend will step up and think about those legendary kind skills that they can help anybody else. Now, it might be being an upstander and helping them out. It could be reporting unkind behaviour. It might even be telling a teacher. This is why, Chelsea, being kind is my favourite of those legendary skills. It says a lot about you as a person if you can do the right thing, even if the easiest thing is to do nothing at all. This is the last of your legendary kind skills. Rhiannon spoke about it, you spoke about it. It's to be brave. And this one is a biggie for secondary school. In fact, this could be the biggest legendary skill of them all. So let's have a little pause on this one, Chelsea. Of course, you guys are going to a big, strange place with lots of older kids, and it can feel weird. Let's be honest, sometimes a little bit scary.
Yeah, and it might feel like you don't know how to get help if you do have a problem. But you know what? Being brave is all about taking ownership of your situation and being brave and talking to a teacher if there's something that worries you. Now, this might be something that happened in class, or it might be something that's happened online.
You're just like your teachers now. Your teachers at secondary school are there to help you. Now, when you don't know the teachers so well, it can be a little bit scary going and talking to them, but trust me, they are there to help. If you're still unsure, you can still talk to your parent or trusted adult. They're there to help you, but they are there also to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, and Joe, if you think about it, they're going from being the biggest, oldest kids in primary school to the youngest, smallest kids in secondary school. But you know what? If you're brave, none of that matters.
Year 7 is the first level of a brand new adventure. And as well as being brave, you need to remember to look out for yourself. Or in other words, look after your well-being. One of the greatest things about starting secondary school is having your independence to do things by yourself. It could include having your own device. It might be spending more time with your friends, or it could even be spending more time online as part of study.
Yeah, but looking after yourself is more than just making sure you get to school okay and keeping out of trouble. You need to look after other things as well, like your screen use and how it's making you feel.
Put it this way, Chelsea, I love donuts. I'm obsessed with them. I could eat them for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, but you don't need to tell me that I can't eat donuts all day, every day, because it's just not very good for me. You need to think about being online as the same way. As much as you might love it, you need to know the right amount for you and when you might need something else.
Oh yeah, but Joe, it's not always easy, is it?
No.
It can be really tempting to keep checking for new messages or carry on gaming if you're deep in a session. But you need to really stop and think about how those things are making you feel. Now, if you do start to feel tired or anxious or like you just can't switch off, perhaps it's time to stop, take a break, or change how often you do something. Now, you've got the power to be in control of your own digital world and make yourself a better balance and give yourself a plan. Now, you could make a plan for when you do things online and when you do things offline, and maybe you could get one of your adults to help you.
Absolutely. It could be putting your phone down when you get home and having a face-to-face conversation. Chelsea, do you remember those face-to-face conversations?
Oh, I love a good chit-chat.
It might be exiting a game when you feel a little bit tired. It might be switching off those notifications and not checking your new messages until you've done your homework. Look, legends need to be the masters of their online world, but they also need to be the masters of their offline world too. So as you get your new independence, remember to be a legend and use this power to look after yourself and your well-being.
Yeah, and if you do use this power to look after yourself and your well-being, and remember all your legendary skills to be sharp, alert, secure, kind and brave, I'm sure you'll be ready to take this next step.
Absolutely. We can see that you guys are all brave, and we want to do a massive shout out to Fairlop Primary for doing great comments in that YouTube chat. Thanks, guys. You guys are super brave, and even if you don't feel like that right now, don't worry, because we know that you have got this. And most importantly, always remember that this is a time to be really excited. Year 7 is a brand new level of your brand new adventure. And even if things feel strange and different right now, your teachers are always there to help.
Oh, Joe, talking about teachers, I think you've all got somebody to thank for having all these skills. And that's your legendary teacher who've helped you along your way.
I think your teachers deserve a massive round of applause from everybody here. Shall we really embarrass them? Really shout, scream, dance if you want to. They are there to help you. So let's give them a shout after 3. 1, 2, 3. Well done, teachers! Woohoo!
Wait, because there's somebody else we need to thank as well.
Who's that then? That's you, Year 6s. You've made it through primary school and now you're off on an amazing new adventure. So let's do another massive round of applause. Clap, scream, dance if you want to as well. Really let the whole school know what's going on. And if you shout loud enough, but your parents at home will be able to hear you. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Love a confetti cannon. No, I'm not clearing this up later on. Off my shoulder. Go.
Year 6s, that was amazing. Super loud and we loved it. But you know what? This is the end of our time together today. So that's a big thank you from us.
And a big thank you from me too.
Now, good luck in your next steps. Enjoy Year 7. Be kind, be brave.
And you have got this. Stay legendary.